So that boy Antoine Massey got the internet in a trance, man. The internet in a frenzy. He got the police tracking him down, and I kind of knew he was smarter than just to record right there, put the video out right there, stay right there. Those coordinates would have gave him away. But I can't say the brother's innocent. I can't say he's guilty either. But one thing about it, he's calling out for help. And I'm gonna show y'all something like with these preachers. Y'all think these preachers be all that, but it's a preacher on there talking about turn yourself in. When somebody tell me to turn myself in, that sounds like back in the days when the brothers led the other brothers blindly into slavery. Want y'all tell that pastor to look out for him. Instead of saying turn himself in, ask him, can he help him with his situation? I bet you the pastor ain't gonna give up no money to help. Because he gonna say God didn't want him to do that. God don't want him to help potentially innocent man get out of harm's way. You hear the brother saying, and I'm not. He might be guilty. I don't know, but he might not be guilty. It's two sides to a street, so I can't just say, oh yeah, he's guilty. I mean, everybody know how the justice system is, and just being down there in Louisiana, I can understand the justice system is probably way more crazy than just out here in California. You know what I'm saying? Like, so while that pastor is running his mouth talking about turn yourself in, why don't you help him get a solution to turn himself before he turn himself in? What's the plan? You on social media trying to get on YouTube, trying to get famous, so you could get some more build your congregation up a little bit more. The brother's crying out for help, whether he innocent or he not. You need to be the one, since you the main one talking about turn yourself in. You should be the main one, trying to see if he is innocent or is he guilty. I really didn't, a lot of people do a lot of things that, some people not going to agree with, and it ain't up to me to judge the pastor, because I really don't believe in pastors, period. It's a few of them out here that's really preaching what you call the word of God, and there's some preachers out here on the hustle. You'll never know who he is, but I want somebody in that congregation to go to that pastor and say, Pastor, my house is about to be foreclosed on. Can you help me with some money? I want to see that pastor, that one that just told that young brother, Antoine Massey, to turn himself in. I want to see if that pastor is going to help his congregation member, the one who's been putting in all the offering for years, for 20, 30 years. I want to see if he going to help her with the foreclosure. I'm not really a fan of all these preachers. It's a few preachers and pastors that's really real with this, and they really preach the word of God. They really believe in the word of God. They really abide by the word of God. They really walk in the faith. They really is real with it. But some of these pastors just ain't it. I can't tell no young man that got on the internet. Now you have seen 10 people get out of jail. One dude you ain't heard nothing from him, but this dude just took it upon himself to say he's innocent, and he's calling out for help. None of them other dudes called out for help. They didn't do none of that. Even though they got caught fast, they didn't do none of that. They didn't say they was innocent or nothing. So out of 10 people, when one person say he's innocent, why people, oh no, he can't, man. Come on, man. You got to start. The man could be falsely convicted. It could be true. Why I gotta be fake? Because it's past. That's like saying every criminal, no criminal in this world, no felon in this world have ever turned their life around. These people that's prosecuting people, they do crimes too. In case you don't know it, they just ain't got busted. See, it's not a crime until you get busted. But let's get back on to the brother. The brother said he's innocent. So who am I to say he's not innocent? Who am I to turn my back on him and not push what he's pushing out in the street? He might be guilty. He could be 100,000% guilty. And then guess what? He could be 100,000% innocent. And his past record just convicted him. They looked at his past record and said, yeah, he did this without a shadow of a doubt. And he probably didn't even do it. If the lady done came to court and said the man didn't do it, the lady who got him in jail was pissed off. And everybody knows how a woman will tweak the truth and tweak a lie when she's mad at a man for not wanting to compromise. When a man don't do what a woman say, they run down there, that's why they got child support. The women run down there and put a brother on child support with the quickness. Because that's like kryptonite to a brother when you mess with his funds. Run to the police and tell them, oh, yeah, he doing this and he hustling with this and he doing that. He doing X, Y, and Z. Everybody out here knows women that does that. You know a woman that lies, conniving. It's women out here that done set brothers up. It's man, listen, this thing don't stop. It's been started since Adam and Eve, man. They told Adam, don't eat the forbidden tree, and he ate it. And he got unalived. Like, come on now, but it just bothered me. I had to do this video. I was really finished because I put this story out yesterday, but some more news came up and I just saw that pastor. And when I saw that pastor, I felt, as a black man, I felt betrayed by that pastor getting on national TV saying, come down here so I could help you turn yourself in. He don't need you. You leading him back into slavery. Like, that's really leading. If you ain't never been to jail, you don't know what it's like. I told a judge one night, I told a judge one time when my son was in trouble, I said, Judge Sterling, because he was trying to give out so much time. I said, Judge Sterling, I said, the bailiff, he was trying to calm me down, but I was already fired up and I wasn't being belligerent, but I had to get out what I needed to say to this judge. And I told the judge just like this in these words. I jumped up, I said, Judge Sterling, have you ever did 1 day in jail? And he answered me. He said, no. I said, well, stop telling people how much time they need to do in jail because you don't know the effect that it have on people. Y'all rewind this and listen to it again. For all y'all people who ain't never been in jail, who always talking about, just lock them up. Just throw them in jail. I wish you go in jail for 1 or 2 days. I wish you go in jail for a week so you could see what jail is like and the effect that it have on people. Like back in the days, you get out of jail and do a crime, people just lock you up. But now the system is starting to see it ain't you, it's mental health. Jail, taking people's freedom just destroys people sometimes. You can line up 10 people and put them in jail for 6 months. Not all of them are going to have the same effect when they get out. Jail sometimes makes people go harder. It makes people evil inside. The stuff that you got to put up with inside of jail, you would never imagine. You would never imagine. Good people will never imagine what it's like to be in jail. Until you falsely incarcerated or you put in jail and you got to see what it's like to just have to fight all the time and just be evil all the time. And you can't show no signs of weakness. Because that'll be your demise. That'll be the worst thing you can see. So, a lot of people say, oh, yeah, go put him in jail. Man, turn yourself in. Man, don't nobody be trying to turn themselves into jail. Some people belong in jail. I understand that. Some people belong, they can't live in society. They just don't have the tools to navigate in society. And I understand that. But one thing you need to understand, when somebody is crying out, when somebody is on the internet crying out, 10 people ran away. Only 2 still at large, and 1 is just crying out for help. Me as a brother, I got to help push the message. I got to. The brother might be 100,000% guilty, or he might be 100,000% innocent. It ain't for me to judge him. I'm never going to say, go turn yourself in, though. I'm never going to grab a brother's hand and walk him into slavery. I ain't never going to do that. So whoever know that pastor, tell that pastor he on that BS. Real talking. Tell him I said it, man. I really, whoever goes to that man's church really need to, second guess that brother for doing that, because if you telling a man to go back into slavery, because that's all jail is, you really unalived when you in jail. You mean nothing to this society. You can't give to the society. You can't do nothing. But whoever is in his congregation, I want them to go tell that man, okay, so Antoine Massey wants to turn himself in, but are you going to help him with the turn in as well as something financial? Or do you know a lawyer that he can turn him on? Do you know anybody at the Innocence Project that you could turn his case on to? Do you know anybody that could help him judicially, financially, to help out his situation? Because the brother said he innocent. So who am I to say he not telling the truth? Yeah, his past record may be messed up. But guess what? He been in jail before, so, you know, just like me. I've been in jail before I learned. Some people learn. Some people learn. He might have learned, and she might have, and the girl that who said he did all this, she might have did that out of just spite. He might not have did what she wanted him to do. She said, okay, I'm gonna end your career like this. But it ain't up to me to judge. If you're getting any value from this video, please like, follow, and subscribe. Like, follow, and subscribe. Comment below what you think about his confession on YouTube. What you think about him saying that he's innocent. Do you think he's innocent, or do you think he's guilty? Do you think it could be either way? What do you think about the young man? Do you think somebody should come to the rescue? How do you think about that pastor, though? That's what I want to know. That's what made me make this video. That pastor saying turn yourself in. That rubbed me the wrong way. I don't believe God would tell him to lead somebody back into slavery. I just don't get that. If you don't feel like subscribing, please like the video. I appreciate it if you just like the video. It helps the video go around in the YouTube atmosphere. People can like it, comment on it, not like it, you know, bash it, love it, whatever. You know, I appreciate you. Thank you for having me. And somebody go talk to that pastor and say, what are you willing to do for this young man since you on national TV trying to turn him into slavery, telling him to go back into slavery? Tell him that.